Hey, I'm Chris from Dead IVR. We've been playing a lot of Miracle Pool lately. So with that, typically, we're just using both controllers and then hitting it over. But it's always a little bit lackluster when you're just using your controllers. So we did end up developing out the MasterBreaker. All right, so let's talk about the functionality of this in the gameplay. It's still tracked the same. Instead of holding the controller in your hand, now it's just attached to the pool cue. So when you do go to strike in-game, everything's still tracking correctly, just as if you had it in your hands. And then it works just like this. You could either keep the controller up, which I would recommend, so that way you're not banging the table that it's going into. But user preference, everyone has their own setups at home. We do have a mount that uses a thumb screw. A little bit different from the shadow shot where you slid it in. This one, you'll loosen up the clamp, slide the controller in, and then tighten it up. Next, we'll go to the mount that's positioned on the top. It is a haptic, and it is measured out to weigh the same as the pool ball itself. So whenever you are striking, you'll get that real feel of hitting a pool ball. And this is all put together on a professional pool stick. So that's why you're gonna get that finished feeling. And it does feel like just a regular pool stick when you are at the rec room. Again, I do recommend picking up a knuckle strap if you don't have one already. They make all the accessories and even just gameplay a lot easier. It's nice to not have to worry about holding the controller throughout the whole time. You could have multiple bridges when you go to align your shots in the game. And you don't have to worry about the controller shifting out from the table or pick one up. The link is down in the description below, or you could go ahead and visit ivr.com. When you pick up a MasterBreaker, it does come disassembled. So the way you just saw is not the way that it comes to your house. You will have to do a little bit of work to get it assembled. First, we're going to make the haptic module that makes all the noise. To do that, we have the weights and the linear bearing. These just go right over it. Shouldn't be too difficult. All right. And then importantly, just tighten the weights down till they're snug. Tightening the weights, make sure that it is just snug enough. If you tighten it too much, it will close off the linear bearing enough that it won't slide anymore. So just till they're snug and you're good to go. After tightening the weights, we'll grab the screw and then O-ring. O-ring goes on first. And then if this wasn't too tight, should be just able just to slide it on. Not too tight. So assembled, it looks like this. Then we'll grab the striker, place it on. It just holds in place with the screw. So once we screw this together, everything will work fine. It does come with an Allen key, so we'll have to screw it into the pool cue.
12 seconds later.
So as you're turning the screw in, you'll know it's right to stop once you don't see any threads. And then you should be fully assembled on the tip. And right there. After completing the tip, we're going to put together the rest of the pool cue. These will come together. First, we're going to assemble the controller cup. That way you could rest your controller in it. First on the controller cup, it goes the thumb screw. This is just used to secure your controller in place. Afterwards, we do have some silicone tips to put in. That way it just makes it more snug for your controller. And these get placed inside where there's these grooves already designed for you just to place them in. Once you have all the pads in, it should look like this. And then the final assembly, just to get these together, you'll use this end of the controller cup, slide it off, and then just screw these together. And now you're ready to play. Before we go, check out some of this gameplay of the MasterBreaker.